In the quaint village of Ekwuru, life followed the rhythm of the seasons, with its residents bound by traditions and shared aspirations. Among them were two inseparable friends, Adanna and Amaka, who had grown up dancing together under the Baobab tree. Adanna, with her graceful movements, was known as the village's most gifted dancer, her every step filled with life and emotion. Amaka, equally talented, possessed a fiery passion that made her performances unforgettable. They often dreamed of escaping the confines of their village to pursue their shared passion for dance on a grand stage. When a traveling arts troupe visited the village, they brought news of a scholarship to an elite arts school in Lagos. The scholarship promised not only world-class training, but also a chance to showcase their talents internationally. For Adanna and Amaka, this was a dream come true. However, the announcement stirred something else in Amaka, a simmering jealousy. While she celebrated with her friend, she couldn't shake the feeling that Adanna's natural talent might eclipse her own efforts. The village square buzzed with excitement as the scholarship details were announced. The selection process would include a rigorous audition to test the applicant's skill, creativity, and ability to perform under pressure. Adanna and Amaka spent every waking moment preparing for the audition, practicing their routines under the watchful eye of Mama Nkechi, the village's retired dance instructor. Mama Nkechi's stern yet nurturing guidance pushed them to refine their techniques and explore the depths of their artistry. Despite their camaraderie, a subtle tension began to grow between the two friends. Adanna's crush, Chidi, a charming young man with a reputation for his smooth-talking ways, often visited their practice sessions. While Chidi's compliments bolstered Adanna's confidence, they seemed to irritate Amaka, who felt overlooked. Unspoken words and lingering glances between Chidi and Adanna only added to the strain. As the audition date drew closer, both girls vowed to give their best, each determined to seize this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Little did they know that they'd test not only their talents, but also their friendship and values. Adanna awoke before dawn on the day of the auditions, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and anxiety. She rehearsed her routine one final time under the first light of dawn, feeling the dew on the grass beneath her feet. Amaka joined her shortly after, her eyes shadowed with determination. They exchanged a few words, each lost in their thoughts, yet their shared energy was palpable. Mama Nkechi arrived to wish them luck, her proud smile faltering slightly as she noticed the unspoken tension between the girls. As they made their way to the audition venue, the village's support followed them. Children cheered, and elders offered prayers, their words mingling with the morning air. However, amidst the joyous send-off, Amaka felt an unfamiliar weight pressing on her chest. The thought of losing, not just the scholarship but also the recognition she craved, gnawed at her resolve. The sight of Chidi offering Adanna an encouraging smile as they passed by only deepened her doubts. At the venue, the atmosphere crackled with anticipation. Competitors from neighboring villages had also arrived, each radiating confidence and talent. Adanna, always calm under pressure, stepped forward with grace, her movements captivating the small crowd of onlookers. Amaka, however, found herself hesitating. She clenched her fists, determined to outshine her friend no matter what it took. The auditions began with a flurry of performances. Each competitor brought their unique style and energy to the stage, hoping to leave a lasting impression on the judges. When it was Adanna's turn, the audience fell silent as she took the stage. Her dance was a story, one of hope, struggle, and triumph, told with every fluid motion of her body. The judges nodded in approval, clearly moved by her performance. Amaka watched from the sidelines, her emotions swirling. While she admired Adanna's skill, envy took root. When her name was called, she stepped onto the stage with a fiery determination. Her performance was bold and powerful, a stark contrast to Adanna's graceful elegance. The audience erupted into applause, and for a moment, Amaka felt a surge of pride. As the auditions concluded, the judges announced that the results would be revealed the next day. Adanna and Amaka returned to the village, their hearts heavy with anticipation. While Adanna remained optimistic, Amaka couldn't shake the fear that her efforts had fallen short. That night, under the glow of the moon, Amaka's jealousy hardened into resolve. She made a decision that would change everything. Unable to sleep, Amaka paced her small room, her mind racing with thoughts of how to ensure her success. She couldn't bear the idea of Adanna winning the scholarship, leaving her in the shadow of her friend's triumph. As the village lay silent under the starry sky, Amaka made her way to the audition venue. She carried a small knife, her heart pounding with guilt and fear as she approached the stage where the auditions had taken place earlier that day. Amaka's plan was simple but cruel. She aimed to sabotage Adanna's costume, knowing it was essential for her friend's performance. With trembling hands, she carefully cut a few threads, ensuring the fabric would tear easily. As she worked, tears streamed down her face. She hated herself for what she was doing, but her jealousy and desperation drowned out her guilt. By the time she returned home, the first light of dawn was breaking over the village. Amaka crawled into bed, her body exhausted, but her mind racing with dread. She prayed no one would discover her actions and resolved to act as normal as possible in the morning. However, the weight of her betrayal hung heavy in the air, foreshadowing the challenges yet to come. The morning of the results dawned bright and clear, but the atmosphere in the village was thick with anticipation. Adanna dressed carefully, choosing the same costume she had used for the audition. As she fastened it, she noticed something strange, a loose thread that threatened to unravel the entire outfit. Her heart sank. She quickly mended it with the help of her mother, who reassured her with a warm smile. Unaware of Amaka's interference, Adanna brushed it off as a minor mishap. The village square was packed as the judges arrived to announce the winner. Tension crackled in the air as the names of the finalists were called. Both Adanna and Amaka stood side by side, their hands clenched tightly in nervous anticipation. When Adanna's name was declared as the winner, the crowd erupted into cheers. Adanna's joy was palpable as she stepped forward to accept the honor, but Amaka's face betrayed a mix of emotions: jealousy, disappointment, and guilt. As Adanna was lifted onto the shoulders of the villagers, Amaka slipped away, unable to face her friend or the crowd. She retreated to the Baobab tree, where she broke down in tears. She hadn't anticipated the overwhelming guilt that now consumed her. The scholarship was gone, but more than that, she feared losing the bond she had with Adanna forever. Adanna's days grew busier as she prepared to leave for Lagos. The scholarship came with a flurry of activities, paperwork, travel plans, and farewell ceremonies. While the village celebrated her success, Adanna couldn't help but notice Amaka's absence. Her once inseparable friend now seemed distant, avoiding her at every turn. Adanna tried to reach out, but Amaka's responses were curt and evasive. The silence between them grew heavier with each passing day. Adanna confided in Mama Nkechi, who advised her to give Amaka time and space. True friendships, Mama Nkechi said, are tested in moments like these. Be patient, my child. Adanna took her mentor's words to heart, but the ache of losing her closest friend weighed heavily on her. Meanwhile, Amaka wrestled with her guilt. She wanted to confess what she had done, but feared the consequences. Would Adanna forgive her? Could their friendship survive such a betrayal? The questions haunted her, leaving her trapped in a cycle of self-recrimination. She watched from a distance as Adanna prepared to leave, her heart breaking with every step her friend took toward a future without her. The day of Adanna's departure arrived, with a mix of excitement and sorrow. The entire village gathered to bid her farewell, their cheers and well-wishes filling the air. Adanna's parents beamed with pride, and Mama Nkechi's eyes glistened with unshed tears. As Adanna hugged her family and friends, she scanned the crowd for Amaka, hoping against hope that her friend would come to see her off. Amaka stood hidden at the edge of the crowd, her heart pounding as she watched Adanna's tearful goodbyes. She longed to step forward, to hug her friend and wish her well, but her guilt held her back. When the bus arrived to take Adanna to Lagos, Amaka finally mustered the courage to wave from a distance. Adanna spotted her and smiled, a bittersweet expression that spoke volumes. It was a silent acknowledgement of their fractured bond and the love that still lingered despite the distance growing between them. As the bus disappeared down the dusty road, Amaka felt a pang of regret. She had let jealousy and fear drive a wedge between them, and now she could only hope for a chance to make things right. Adanna, too, felt the weight of their unresolved rift as she embarked on her journey, carrying both excitement for her future and a longing for the friendship she had left behind. Lagos was a whirlwind of sights and sounds unlike anything Adanna had ever experienced. The bustling streets, towering buildings, and diverse faces filled her with a sense of wonder and trepidation. The art school was everything she had imagined and more. The grand halls, state-of-the-art studios, and renowned instructors promised a world of opportunity. Adanna threw herself into her training, determined to make the most of this chance. She made new friends, including Funmi, a vibrant and outspoken girl who quickly became her confidante. Yet, despite her busy schedule and new relationships, Adanna couldn't shake the shadow of her estranged friendship with Amaka. Late at night, she would find herself staring out of her dormitory window, her thoughts drifting back to the Baobab tree and the memories they had shared. Back in Ekwuru, Amaka struggled to move forward. The village's attention had shifted to Adanna's success, leaving Amaka feeling invisible and alone. She threw herself into her own pursuits, hoping to distract herself from the growing emptiness. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't escape the consequences of her actions. The silence between her and Adanna loomed large, a constant reminder of the price she had paid for her jealousy. At the art school, Adanna quickly realized that talent alone wasn't enough to succeed. The competition was fierce, with students pushing themselves to the limit to stand out. Adanna's natural grace and emotional depth earned her praise, but she also faced moments of doubt. There were days when she questioned whether she truly belonged among such talented peers. Funmi became her rock, offering encouragement and a listening ear whenever Adanna felt overwhelmed. Together, they navigated the challenges of their rigorous training, celebrating small victories and supporting each other through setbacks. Adanna's confidence grew with each passing week, but her longing for reconciliation with Amaka remained a constant ache. Meanwhile, Amaka's guilt reached a tipping point. She knew she couldn't continue living with the burden of her betrayal. One evening, as the sun set over Ekwuru, she sat under the baobab tree and poured her heart out in a letter to Adanna. She confessed everything, her jealousy, her actions, and her regret. With trembling hands, she sealed the envelope and resolved to send it the next morning, hoping it would be the first step toward healing their fractured friendship. Amaka's letter made its way to Lagos, carried by a trusted villager traveling to the city. As Adanna opened the envelope, she felt a rush of emotions reading Amaka's heartfelt confession. The letter revealed not just the betrayal, but the deep pain and regret Amaka had carried since. Adanna was torn between anger and compassion, struggling to reconcile the friend she cherished with the actions described in the letter. Though hurt, she recognized the courage it took for Amaka to admit her wrongdoings. Adanna penned a response, expressing her feelings and leaving the door open for reconciliation. She explained the hurt caused, but also the hope for rebuilding their friendship. Sending the letter gave her a sense of closure, allowing her to refocus on her training, albeit with lingering sadness. Back in Ekwuru, Amaka anxiously awaited a reply, finding solace in Mama Nkechi's wisdom and support. Mama Nkechi encouraged her to continue seeking forgiveness and to channel her guilt into becoming a better person. Adanna's response arrived, bringing Amaka a mix of relief and resolve. Her friend had not shut her out completely. Instead, Adanna had opened a path forward, a chance to mend what was broken. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Amaka resolved to earn back Adanna's trust, starting with small acts of kindness in the village. She began volunteering her time to help others and practicing dance routines in a way that honored Adanna's influence. Meanwhile, Adanna found herself excelling at the art school. Her instructors began to notice her extraordinary talent and discipline, paving the way for opportunities she had only dreamed of. With Funmi's support, she prepared for a prestigious citywide competition. Yet, her thoughts often drifted back to Amaka, wondering if they could ever share the stage again. Adanna's preparation for the citywide competition consumed her days. Her determination to prove herself pushed her beyond limits she thought possible. She worked late into the nights, perfecting her routine. The competition became more than an event. It symbolized her growth and a tribute to the journey she and Amaka had started together. In Ekwuru, Amaka immersed herself in the community. Her acts of kindness and dedication didn't go unnoticed. Villagers, initially skeptical of her change, began to see her sincerity. Mama Nkechi often guided her, encouraging her to rebuild not just her friendship with Adanna, but also her confidence. Amaka started choreographing routines that told stories of redemption and resilience, drawing inspiration from her struggles and hope for reconciliation. The paths of the two friends were beginning to align again, with both growing stronger in their respective journeys. Adanna's name started gaining recognition in Lagos, while Amaka's renewed spirit transformed her into a beacon of inspiration in their village. Though miles apart, their hearts yearned for the moment they could dance together once more.